Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta po sa inyong lahat? After spending time testing Sigrika, my conclusion is straightforward. She's not as strong as other content creators hype her to be after release. However, she is also not terrible, not unusable, but she feels underwhelming for how much she asks from you. The bigger issue isn't even her damage ceiling. It's everything you need to go through just to get her there. She's expensive to build, heavily reliant on her signature weapon, and her overall setup feels more demanding than most hyper carries right now. Having said that, the anniversary is coming and it promises two new highly sought after Resonators and a slew of reruns. It's time to save those asteroids. Looking for cheaper than in-game top-ups? Follow my U7 buy link down in the description and pinned comments for massive up to 27% discounts on your next wuwa top-up. They offer two safe and guaranteed top-up systems with their trusted direct top-up where you only need to provide your UID and server, and for even more savings, you can opt for their trusted login top-up. Both options are safe, secure, and guaranteed. Check my link down in the description or pinned comment and use my code VeeDizzy for an extra 5% off your first purchase. This is a safe and secure way to save on your top-ups while supporting the channel. Always spend responsibly. Now, back to the video. And speaking of asteroids and U7 buy, we are announcing the first winner of the Lunite Pass giveaway as promised. Now, this is a tough one because there were three who really stood out, and sadly, only one can win this week. So, congratulations at waiting for Geshu Lin. Please try to get in touch with me to claim the prize through U7 buy at the earliest. Also, don't forget, next week we will run another set of Lunite Pass subscription giveaways, so watch out for that. Sigrika's rotation is long, not slightly long, but the kind that makes you very aware of how much field time she needs just to get going. In theory, she brings utility with grouping, but in practice, it doesn't feel consistent enough to justify the downtime. However, once you figure out the fastest rotation cycle, then it makes it far more easier. That is if you survive the initial wave of attacks while trying to set it all up. Then you get into her build, and this is where things start to feel unnecessarily complicated. You're constantly trying to balance energy regen, attack, and arrow damage bonus, and it ends up feeling like you're fighting your own gear more than the actual enemies. Because realistically, she wants around 150% energy regen just to feel functional. Around 160% is where things start to feel stable. Pushing to 180% sounds great on paper, but in reality, it's a grind that requires near perfect substats and a lot of patience. That creates a very awkward situation. Ideally, you want double attack on your 3 cost echoes, but if you do that, your energy regen suffers unless you hit very specific rolls. So most players end up compromising and running an energy regen piece instead just to keep her rotation from falling apart. Now, even her weapon doesn't help solve this problem. Her signature is obviously her best option, but it doesn't give any energy regen, which is exactly what she struggles with. Without it, your alternatives feel limited. Zani's weapon works decently because of its attack boost and defense ignore, but beyond that, most options feel like stat fillers rather than real upgrades. And all of this matters because her gameplay loop depends on consistency. Sigrika revolves around building and converting runes, and if your energy isn't keeping up, the whole system starts to feel slow. You generate runes through her basic and skill interactions, then convert them into her stronger abilities. Once everything lines up, she can deal solid damage. The issue is getting to that point smoothly every single rotation. Her intro skill helps by doubling rune generation, and her liberation gives you the opposite rune type, which speeds things up. On paper, it sounds like a well-designed loop, but in practice, it feels like it takes a bit too long to reach the payoff. What I usually do is run her until she reaches 2 solid skits, then immediately cast her liberation before swapping out. I let my supports stack their buffs first, then bring her back in to capitalize on everything. Since her intro skill doubles the last two runes, the whole sequence becomes noticeably faster and smoother, which helps tighten her tempo and cuts down her field time quite a bit. Team-wise, she clearly wants supports that amplify echo skill damage while also contributing meaningful damage themselves. Choi Wen fits that role very well, and Shorekeeper still feels like the safest healer option. Mornier is probably the most optimal healer, especially if your Sigrika has good crit rate. Yuno fits well if you don't have both, and she can deal massive damage herself. The problem is that even with them, the team doesn't feel as complete as it should. On top of that, Sigrika is about as fragile as her solid skins. Her long rotations also means more exposure on field, which naturally gives enemies more chances to punish you. There's this lingering feeling that something is missing, like she's a unit away from actually becoming meta. When you compare her to other characters, that gap becomes more noticeable. Characters like Augusta, Amith, Carlotta, and Cartithia feel smoother, more immediate, and less demanding overall. They give you results faster with fewer conditions. Sigrika, on the other hand, asks you to commit first and only then rewards you later. From my own experience, that difference really stood out. Usually you can tell if a DPS is strong pretty early, even at level 70 with a mid build. Some characters already show clear potential. Sigrika didn't give that same impression. It doesn't mean she's weak, it just means she doesn't feel impressive early, which matters a lot for player perception. There's also a chance that the current Tower of Adversity isn't doing her any favors. If the environment doesn't reward her playstyle, then her strengths naturally feel muted. That's something that could change over time. And to be fair, she does perform so much better in Wuthering Waves. So it's not like she has no place, it just doesn't feel like she's leading the meta right now. Despite all of this, she is still fun to play. Once you get used to her mechanics and learn the proper early setup, there's something satisfying about managing her runes and lining up her big damage windows. When it works, it really works. But enjoyment doesn't automatically mean efficiency. Right now, Sigrika feels like a character with very obvious upside but not enough infrastructure around her to fully unlock it, or the infrastructure is gated in premium components. The kit points in a clear direction, but the ecosystem just isn't there yet. She needs tighter team synergy, more flexible weapon options, and ideally, future units that are actually built to sustain and amplify her echo skill-centric playstyle. The closest comparison I can make is how Zani felt on release, except Sigrika at least pays you back with noticeably higher damage. There's something real in here, something you can work with, but it takes effort to see it, and not everyone is going to want to go that far just to prove a point. That's what puts her in such an awkward position. If you like her, if you enjoy the playstyle, she's absolutely worth building and you can get good results out of her. But if you're looking at your account from an efficiency standpoint, trying to get the most value out of every pull, she becomes a much harder sell. So if you're thinking about pulling, you need to go in with very grounded expectations. She's not going to carry your account overnight, and she's not going to feel amazing without investment. She's not broken, she's not weak, she's just demanding in a way that other characters simply aren't. And in a game where a lot of units give you faster results with less setup, that gap becomes impossible to ignore. As always, if this video resonated with you, please leave a like and subscribe, ring that bell for massive gacha luck and maybe a sandwich. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in my next video drop. Goodbye.